Oh, yeah. 202. That's what I'm talking about. And yes, like every one of you listening right now, I wish that it had happened at 2 o'clock today. I wish Devin was awake when it happened last night. And I waited and I waited and I waited to hear and see my main man, who appropriately today is rocking the official exclusive I'm a Loser sweatshirt, which I just found out you could buy online right now. I tweeted out the website for that because the Brooklyn Nets gave up. The Brooklyn Nets succumbed to the wants and wishes of a bunch of prima donna ball players, and now their highest paid player is Ben Simmons. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
What do you people want from me today?
He's gone. There's nothing we can do.
Do you want blood? Do you want tears?
Yes, we do.
What the hell do you people want?
Well,
you tell me.
Why don't you just give us your, listen, I told you yesterday what you seem to already know.
I already knew this.
That Kevin Durant had played his last game as an Net.
And give me some credit. I tweeted out basically the exact trade 24 hours ago.
Yes, you did. You were ahead of the game.
I missed one first-round pick.
Yeah. Well, here we are. A brave new world. As Kevin Durant gets his wish from this past summer, he's now a Phoenix Sun. Kyrie Irving is happy as a clam in Dallas where they win over the Clippers last night. He had 24 points. The Lakers do a three-way trade. They've gotten better. The New York Knicks acquired Josh Hart. All right, that makes Jalen Brunson happy as their old friends from their college days. And the Brooklyn Nets, to be fair, are not the worst team in basketball. For those of you that recognize that Kevin Durant's the best player in basketball, to be clear as a basketball fan, the tank isn't empty. They just can't win a title.
It's not even important today.
Right.
There'll be a day in which I can, and maybe it's later today, I don't know. I'm planning on going to the game tonight because I'm a schmuck. Maybe there's a time where you look at the wreckage, you look at the damage, you analyze and say, all right, things aren't that bad. But here's the reality for any Net fan that wants to spin things. We were a disaster.
Yes.
We had a super team, and you can blame Kyrie, you can blame Mayor Adams, you can blame Joe Tsai. Pick whoever you want to blame. I don't care who to blame. Here's what I know. We won one bleeping round of the playoffs.
That's it.
We are the joke of the league. We're the joke for every Knicks fan, and you have a right to laugh and celebrate. God bless. You know, this is what fandom is. Point at us. Laugh at us. Mock us. Do your thing. This is a top 5 Knick moment in the last 15 years, and I understand that and I respect that. This is a Mount Rushmore moment for the Knick fan, probably in your entire history, and I respect that. But the reality is, I can't get over the high from June of 2019 to this low. We had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
That's my guy. There you go.
We had James Harden join them, and within a year, all 3 of them are gone. And so you could talk to me all you want about the draft picks they got back and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas is still here and Nick Claxton's still here. And trust me, I'll get there. I've seen darker situations, Craig. But the fact that this crew, bro, won nothing? Craig, they won nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I didn't even go to the finals. I didn't even go to the conference finals. I got one round of victory. I got the same results I got from Darren Williams. The same results I got from Kevin Garnett. Like, what?
Yeah.
And so
it is actually, it is the biggest debacle in the history of the NBA from a standpoint of collection of absolute talent. There was a moment there, a short moment, where the Brooklyn Nets had 3 of the top 10 players in the league. They didn't play a lot of games together, unfortunately, for Brooklyn Nets fans. And how quickly it went from we are the beasts of the East, we have the best shot to go to an NBA championship, to having none of them left. And it
doesn't matter the why. Like, I'm seeing a lot of debates on had this happen, why this happened, who to blame. Here's all I know as I sit here next to you and your smug face.
I love it. I can't get enough of this.
It collapsed, and it didn't work. And I'll one-up your statement. In all of sports, forget the NBA. In all of sports.
There's probably a Yankee team in there that had talent we thought that was unbeatable offensively, but yeah, sure.
All of sports. And that's the indignity and the embarrassment we all have to live with. That scarlet letter that's
you
on
guys.
us.
Now, we don't have to live with it. We're loving it.
I'm talking to my fellow Net fans.
All right, the 19 of you, because here's what's just happened.
30 seconds.
In the last 24 hours, and really, to be fair, the last 4 days, all those front-running weasel Net fans who claimed, oh, I've always been a Net fan. Oh, it's about the borough. Oh, it's about, my love for Brooklyn. I never liked the Knicks. They're all gone. So the real fans like you and Keith and Jerry Recco totally respect the fandom. It's real. It'll outdate everyone currently on the team. But for all you front-runners who decided to turn your backs on the New York Knicks, and I get why we've been a joke for a quarter century. I get it. Where are you now? You're men and women without a home, without a team. And know this, at least you still have Ben Simmons.
Don't bring him up.
Your version of Eddie Curry. At least
Don't bring him up.
That is your guy.
I prefer to think about Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
I prefer to think about that.
I bet you do.
Not the albatross known as Ben Simmons. And I said this earlier on Twitter. Jay Crowder deserves a highlight video more than Ben Simmons does.
Jay Crowder, who's not played a game this year, it's kind of like the John Wall situation. There's just an agreement he wasn't going to play. I couldn't tell if he's in shape or not. Doesn't matter. He has already been offloaded, I think, to Milwaukee.
Yes.
For 5 second-round picks.
Well, that's not true. It's only 3 second-round picks because the owner of the Brooklyn Nets is now only concerned about saving on his tax bill. And while that won't be called out by many, because who cares, and I respect that.
It's not 5, I apologize.
No, it's not, because the owner, again, wants to save on his tax bill. So instead of taking back a salary like a Serge Ibaka or Jordan Nowawa, he said, I'll ship them to Indiana, and I'll give them a few of my 5 second-round picks because Joe Tsai's concern. He has no problem taking my money. And he'll do it every year because I'm a schmuck. And no problem taking other people's money.
Yeah.
But Joe Tsai would rather save on the tax bill.
$100 million.
That's the reality.
Right.
So the reason why the Nets have 3 second-round picks instead of 5, again, no one cares, but I want this to be known, is because the billionaire owner is more concerned about saving on his tax bill than trying to rebuild this mess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. Now, the trade deadline is at 3 o'clock today, so less than an hour to go. Obviously, there's not going to be any trade that's at the level of Kevin Durant going to Phoenix because of who Kevin Durant is. But there will be some trades. The Knicks are rumored to still be talking to some teams. We'll see if that plays out.
Zach LaVine, which could be a big one.
There is a rumor out there that the Knicks have been discussing whether or not it started on their end or the other end, a Zach LaVine, R.J. Barrett deal. Which I think most of us would do, considering how RJ's played since the contract.
I have not heard RJ Barrett. What I've heard is that 3 number 1 picks plus young assets like Obi Toppin and Quentin Grimes, which is a lot. And that's an expensive package to give up. Now, Zach LaVine is a scorer, and he's still relatively young. He does make a ton of money, and you've got injury concerns. But it would be Leon Rose taking these draft picks and saying, let's go for it. They used one of these protected first-round picks last night on a useful rotation player in Josh Hart. Yeah. But I don't think any Knicks fan has envisioned using the first-round picks to get useful rotation players, more to get the big one.
Look, getting Josh Hart's good for depth, for sure.
No doubt.
But Josh Hart doesn't change the Knicks from a 6 seed to a 4 seed.
No.
Good player. Not knocking him. Good player. Good, 12, 15-minute-a-game kind of guy. But if the Knicks are going to try to pull off a trade that gives them a better shot of solidifying a playoff spot beyond, being right on the bridge of 6, 7, 8, 9, Josh Hart's not that guy.
And you know what's funny? We're in a similar situation now. The Nets have a lot of first-round picks. The Knicks have a lot of first-round picks. And you got to ask yourself, what are you using them for?
Right.
Are you using them to eventually draft kids of your future, or are you using them to package for the next star? Because let's not be mistaken about this. Despite the massive failure that the Nets just had, the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets are going to always go star hunting. And you want to know why? Because that's how you win in the NBA.
Sure.
So as burned as the Nets are, let's not be naive about what's going to happen. So when you've got a lot of first-round picks, sure, you can use them, but the ultimate plan is to cash those chips in, like Cleveland did for Donovan Mitchell, like Atlanta did for Dejounte Murray, like Phoenix did for my old guy.
I will say this from a Knicks perspective. If the New York Knicks trade, and I just saw the last rumor, it's closer to what you said than what I said, because I saw Barrett's name. I may be off on that. If the Knicks trade 3 first-round draft picks and a player like Grimes, which I'm reading now, to get LaVine, then I would have to ask Leon Rose the question, why didn't you just do the Donovan Mitchell deal?
Because Donovan's better.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's I mean, that's 6-1, half dozen of the other. And I would rather have Donovan Mitchell than Levine all day, every day.
And it goes back to this. All right, you make that
which is
trade.
Right, let me just finish that thought. To me, the New York Knicks are not trading 3 first-round draft picks and a kid like Grimes to get Levine when they said no to a couple of draft picks and RJ to get a much better player in Mitchell.
So where does
I'd be shocked if they did that.
Where does that leave you? If you are now building around Jalen Brunson, who's been awesome this season, Zach LaVine, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, are you a contender in the Eastern Conference?
No.
There
are 3 teams that no matter what we do now, the New York Knicks are never going to get close to in the moment. And that's Philadelphia, Boston, and Milwaukee. Could you make an argument there are trades to be had, possibly, that at least gives you a chance to maybe compete with the next tier of teams? Maybe. But to me, the New York Knicks at best, and that's acquiring a legitimate scorer, a 5 seed?
Right, and also,
I don't see them much better than that.
The other thing is the Knicks have a lot of protected first-round picks. Are you trading protected first-round picks?
Right.
Or are you trading unprotected picks of your own? Because that's far different. Those two things are completely different in talking about what you're willing to give up.
That being said, we are witnessing, and sadly it's here in our own town. I'm glad as a Knicks fan. I know you're upset if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan. This might be the last day we ever talk Brooklyn Nets basketball for a long time now, because the Brooklyn Nets blew up what should have been a team that made multiple runs to an NBA Finals, certainly Eastern Finals, if nothing else, and they didn't do any of it. And they will go down, I think you'd agree with me on this, Evan.
Yes.
In the history
yes.
of North American professional sports
yes.
as the most underachieving team
yes.
with championship talent on
yes.
it in any sport,
yes.
in any era
yes.
of all time.
Yes. I may be biased because it is my own.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can never blame me for having Robert Titus. Because think about it.
Yeah.
You
were planning a parade.
I was never planning a parade.
Remember you were going to be drinking, you told me right on Flatbush Avenue?
It was all a hypothetical. You were planning the parade. He's marrying us. That's my guy.
And then he
couldn't wait to screw around on us and head to Phoenix to chase the girl he's wanted since 2011.
I should have empowered the guys all day today to find all your douchey, arrogant comments about the great Kevin Durant and him and Kyrie and when Joe Harris comes back.
You know what? I'll say this to everybody listening.
Oh, it's great. What a great day.
I'll take it. I deserve it.
Well, you got no choice.
I'll take it.
Here's the beauty of it.
Because I would do the same to you, and I think it's only fair game.
Yeah.
I don't like your team. I've always been honest about that all my years here. You now finally don't like my team. We'll see if you care about them in a week.
I'm done caring about them.
I think you will Monday night at Madison Square Garden.
It'd be interesting. You put out a photograph 2 nights ago. You went to the Barclays. I forget who they playing.
They were playing the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, go figure, right?
I went on a scouting mission.
You wanted Mikal Bridges after that game. You're like, I'll take that guy. That's funny, actually. No, but it'd be interesting. Now that, listen, Durant wasn't going to play tonight anyway because he was hurt. But, I mean, half empty tonight at tip?
So,
late arriving crowd, but not full. Is that fair?
They ended up arriving. I got a lot of crap from some Net fans about this. The picture I put out was during the national anthem. A quarter in
the building looked bad.
The place was packed after the first quarter.
Right.
So
okay.
I own that, and I put an updated picture out there. The one thing I'd warn you about, and I don't blame you for not caring or for anyone caring, but in 2019, when the Nets shockingly made the playoffs and they had this fun, young, exciting team, people were showing up.
By the way, good.
People were showing up in the building. Now, it wasn't what it was earlier this year where it sold out every night. And when they were in the playoffs against Philly, the building had a soul. The building had a loudness to it. So I agree with you that there have been a lot of front runners. There are a lot of people that want to just stand for Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. But there are Net fans in this world. There may not be a lot of us, but I do think there will be people in that building. It is not going to be East Rutherford, New Jersey all over again. Because there are Net fans. There are kids growing up in Brooklyn who are rooting for the team because the name of the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey. But you're right. Look, I'll be there. You know me. I'm a moron. I'm there forever. I'm a diehard fan through good and bad times. But I do think there will still be some people in that building rooting on a team that I got to tell you, they're right there with the Knicks. I'll see you in the play-in tournament.
Listen, but we didn't have 3 of the greatest players on the planet all at the same time. They shunned us, all of them. And you sat there as you should have, and mocked. Oh, they weren't afraid of New York. They just didn't want to play in your building. They wanted to play in my building, in my borough. And we sat here and we had to take it. We had no choice but to take it. And like most things that take place for teams that typically don't know what they're doing, and now I have an owner who's, got to be now the worst owner in New York by far.
And he's saving pennies right
and
now.
now he's saving $100 million by making trades to get under the luxury tax number. Yeah, we're back. We're back, Knicks fans. We're back.
One thing that has become perfectly
clear. Do me a favor, Tommy. Get me Mike Rappaport on the line. Get me Spike Lee on the line. Get me Steve Sharip on the line. Get me all the former Sopranos cast members who now get identified by other shows they're working on, which bothers every fan of the Sopranos like Michael Imperioli. Get them all on the phone. I want them all. Today is a day to rejoice because the New York Knicks, again, are kings of New York.
So you'd agree with me this is a Mount Rushmore Knicks moment in their history?
In their history?
Yeah.
I will say this.
Last 10 years?
It's right there next to Willis Reed. It's right there.
I do.
Things that have no impact on the game itself.
One thing that became clear, and I think you'll like this because I think it'll make you feel better. Kevin Durant never chose the Brooklyn Nets. I want to make that clear.
Kevin Durant chose Kyrie.
Kevin Durant chose Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
And that has been made perfectly clear over the last 48 hours. He didn't pick me. He didn't pick Barclays Center. He didn't pick Sean Marks. He didn't pick the borough. He didn't even pick the city. He wanted to play with his friend. And through everything that happened over the last 3.5 years, he sided with his friend until the bitter end when the Nets ultimately decided, we don't want to employ your friend anymore. And Kevin Durant decided, I didn't come here for you. I came here for him to get me out of here.
I will say one thing.
And that has become crystal clear.
I will say this about Kyrie Irving, who yesterday after the Mavericks win a game, he made the point of saying it's great that Kevin got out of there, and it'll be awesome to be able to see him more now because we're both in the West. And I would just say, memo to Kyrie, you could have seen him as much as you wanted. You were on the same team. Like, you're not going to see him more now.
Yeah.
You're not going to see him at all now.
It's
crazy.
Amazing. Kyrie Irving, and this reminds me of a famous line from The Cosby Show, the sitcom, the show, when he said to Theo, son, I brought you into this world. I can take you out of this world.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving brought the Nets into this world of relevance. He did.
Yeah, he did.
He brought the Nets into the world of a super team. Yeah. And he was absolutely the one that said, okay, now you're done. He brought us in. He took us out.
He felt mistreated. We'll get into what he meant by that coming up momentarily because he did explain it apparently. And all your calls. It's going to be a fun day today for us Knicks fans. And for the 9 of you out there that care about the Nets, it will not be fun for you. But if you have no interest in basketball, no interest in the Nets or the Knicks, it's still going to be fun watching Evan. Watching Evan have to take the arrows today that are coming his way because he is the representative Net fan. With all due respect to Jerry and Keith, he's been here longest. He is the guy most people look to as who's the Net fan on the fan. It's this guy right here.
Right.
Who is rocking the official exclusive I'm a Loser sweatshirt. Well played today, sir. And I appreciate you taking ownership
And
of
I
that.
plan on walking into Barclays Center tonight and giving a standing ovation to my guy, Spencer Dinwiddie, because that's my bleeping goal.
You can't say it again.
Man, you can throw a pie in my face when we win a title.
I want you to bring them all back. Go back and check the archives all day. Any cocky, arrogant statement my man has made, I want it replayed. Meanwhile, we're broadcasting live from the Town Fair Tire Studios.